Okay, let me speak to Mr. Jacobs. Mr. Jacobs. Mr. Jacobs.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, now you have made it clear, and the spokesperson have also made it clear that SaMBA is going to support someone from the south. So let me ask you this: what if the candidate or somebody from the south or don't have as much capacity as someone from the north? Will SaMBA still support zoning? Let me use the word zoning instead of capacity.
Like I said before, the North has produced their best. And that their best is in office today. I don't see anybody from the North that we know, that is capable of doing anything better than this man. They have produced their best. And even Baba Ahmed, in an interview I listened to today, said that Buhari has disappointed them. And he was part of the think tank of the Buhari presidency. They looked around the entire North and brought Buhari. So are they going to bring an India? Nobody is going to be better than Buhari from the North. Let nobody deceive me. I won't be deceived anyway. Because what we have seen, even their current gladiators who want to be governors or who want to be president, I know one or two of them. None of them, for instance, has been decent enough to condemn the attacks going on unabated, even in the North. They play politics with the lives of their people. And that is why I am worried that people will still think that something good can come out of the North to lead this country. I don't think they have the capacity. They have capacity for governance. They want to be in government. They want to be in government. That is the thing. They want power. But as far as administering the country is concerned, their number one flag bearer has failed. And I'm so scared of what he will do before the next election. Because every day he keeps going down the train and dragging Nigeria with himself. He started with body language. That was the first time we were hearing that a president of a nation in the 21st century is leading or providing leadership via body language. I suspect that has become body odor now. Now, the only consistent policy this government has pursued in the 21st century, when people around the world are discussing how to go and settle in the moon or in the sun, the only policy that this government has pursued for 6 years is how to find settlement and where cows will happily reside. Nobody has a housing policy in this government for human beings. But every day, this government has consistently continued to pursue just one policy: how to keep cows happy, how to find a good resting place for cows. And this is the best material they produce. So for me, it's a no-no for any northerner. I don't see any better candidate that will come. All the other people are just hungry for power. And they have not told us what they will do differently from the current number one man in the North. Nobody, they don't say it. And I have stopped following anybody who will not tell me what he wants to do with power. Because in 2014, it is this same packaging that they did for the current president that they are going to do again. Package him, get the Tinubus and other people to snap pictures with him, wearing danshiki, wearing the Igbo hat, wearing Calabar wrapper. All of these things, he dropped them the day he was sworn in. And that is why he couldn't find what he wore during the campaign in 2015. And they had to rush and sew a new trouser for him that was looking like something done by a carpenter, not a tailor. So we are in trouble because people have taken Nigerians for granted. They will package anybody and sell him to him to you, and people will buy and start moving and campaigning. And he will go to churches. People will open their churches to him, open their mouths to him. He will finish. And then once he grabs power, he's lost. In fact, at the time, they were saying that most of the things that are happening, he's not aware. He's not the one that is doing it. It is Garba Shehu or it is Abakari. These things are lies. The man does not just have capacity. And like I said, he was and he remains their champion. If their champion cannot perform, I don't see anybody else that will perform.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jacobs. Let us allow the participants to partake in the conversation. I can see someone hand up. Mr. Alache Ude. Your hand is up.
Yes, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Okay, I'm a lady, not a man.
Sorry, my apologies.
No problem, Augusta. I just want us to look at two good things, right? One, why is it possible that somebody like Hakim Baba Ahmed can make such a statement? It is because of the kind of democratic political system we have, where the entrance into presidency is what we call first past the post. That means the majority, somebody with majority votes. And we have noticed also that sometimes in political discourse, that majority can become a problem. And that is why sometimes majoritarianism is tempered by some things like electoral colleges and so on and so forth, so that it brings back sanity. Otherwise, we will have what they call the tyranny of the majority. And now we're having the tyranny of the majority, if indeed the majority is what Baba Ahmed is talking about. So we have not really interrogated our political system, and we must begin to put pressure in a way that it is not always the person who has the majority vote, even if he's not capable, even if he's from a region like where Baba Ahmed comes from, a region that has the highest out of school children, a region that has the highest poverty rate, a region that has the lowest education retention rate, a region where women and young people are not going to school, a region where the economic activity is only centered in particular cities. And that person has the legitimacy to come out to say, we will continue, when your track record does not show any form of contribution to the development of the economy or of the country. So I think in Nigeria, we better start rethinking. It is not about these political parties. If these political parties do not work right, we can support new political parties. We don't have to continue to depend on people or political parties that have no track record. Even the election within the parties to come out with the candidates is fraught with corruption. Our voting systems. I contested election. When I was to contest election, on that day, my name did not appear in INEC voter. I had my temporary voter's card. I went helter-skelter, went to Abuja. I could not get my permanent voter's card. So what kind of country is that? Simply because somebody somewhere can sit down and decide. We have not had election in Nigeria for a long time. We have had selection. And until we go to election, on the issue of the middle belts themselves must begin to dissociate themselves from statements of this, in quotes, North. The middle belt should dissociate themselves from, I know a lot of people have dissociated themselves, but our political leaders in the middle belt, I haven't had them talking. I have not had them talking. Because why? A lot of them, I want to make this categorical statement that because EFCC can capture people who have stolen and invested in money, or if you invest your money overseas, they can ask government. They are now investing their money in cattle rearing because you cannot say who has cattle and who doesn't have cattle. And a lot of our middle belt people are now cattle owners, so they are supporting this. I want to hear our so-called middle belt elders talking. I've not heard one voice of them. There is a conspiracy that is beyond us here, and we need to begin to break down and deconstruct and demystify that conspiracy. And we must begin to point out even within us who the traitors are. We are covering up for them. And this is the honest truth, Augusta. I say it, and until we begin to expose our co-conspirators within the middle belt, who are saying they should give our land, and then they run to Abuja. When it is election, they come back to us. We start voting for them, killing ourselves over them. I thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so. Yes, I can see that. Yes, I can see that you're really becoming so emotional about it. I have Mr. Charles' hand up. Charles, your hand is up, and I've asked you to unmute. Kindly unmute yourself and make your contribution. Charles?
Me? Are you hearing me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. And it is my pleasure to be part of this conversation because I'm passionate about the unification of the Middle Belt and Southern Nigeria. We have long waited for this, and our failure to unite earlier than now is the reason why the arrogance of the corners. And I will say it here. I don't like painting words. And the truth of the matter is that the Southern and Middle Belt portion of this country is the reason why we are backward. And I'm going to say this because if we...
Augusta, I think we can't hear him. It's like there's a problem from his network.
Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles, okay, yes, he left. I think it's a network issue. Let us go back to our guest. Mr. Jacobs.
Yeah.
You heard what Miss Alache Uche said. Do you have any reaction for that?
Sir Elache, because I saw MBA by her name, so I must address her with care. She is a member of the British Empire, so she's an elder, and I respect her a lot. Look, exactly what she has said is what I said at a meeting a week ago, where we had some of our retired generals and former senators or current senators. It was a big meeting of the Middle Belt. And I recalled what she has just said, that we are not hearing them. And I asked them this question. When Pa Clark at 94 comes out to make a statement, how do you feel? When Pa Adebanjo addresses a press conference to advance the issues affecting the Yoruba nation, when Professor Banji and other seniors speak up for their communities, I ask them, how do you feel? And just like she has said, there are issues, there are many issues. Some of the leaders or the people we call leaders, honestly, they are not leaders. They are mere people who were opportuned to get to some places, but they have refused to accept that they are leaders, and that's why they are not leaders. If they were leaders, they would do even much more than Pa Adebanjo is doing, because the rate of the killings in the Middle Belt, for instance, is higher than what you have in Yoruba land. The rate of the killings in the Middle Belt is higher than what you get in the South-South. Yet it is Pa Clark that comes out to speak, while we have his age mates sitting down comfortably in Abuja, in Kaduna, in Jos, and taking coffee. Now, it breaks my heart every time you meet some of them and they tell you, they do that all the time, which shows you that there are so many things they are considering, and they are afraid of telling you why they cannot speak up. But just like Sir Elachi has said, there are many reasons why people don't talk. Some have criminal charges hanging over their heads. Some are seeking future appointments or privileges from government. So they keep quiet and continue to behave as if nothing is happening. But the people are dying. Your communities are being decimated. And it's a daily affair. So I agree with her that the voices that need to be heard are not being heard. And the good news, however, is that there is a new generation. That new generation that I belong to is not going to keep quiet.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jacob. Let us get another participant to take in the show. We have Comrade Sani Saidu Muhammad. I have asked you to unmute, so kindly go ahead and make a contribution. Comrade Muhammad. Comrade Muhammad, if you are there, kindly unmute.
Hello? I have muted myself. Can you hear me?
There was one part of me that kind of felt like when they arrested him.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, but the TV behind you is a bit loud.
And then the next thought was,
okay. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity given to me. I felt the program is highly enlightening, and it is something that I need to chip in. That's why I indicated earlier. The thing which is why power should shift to southern Nigeria. So, and the major discussants are from the Middle Belt. Unfortunately, the Middle Belt had never before led Nigeria, I mean in terms of presidency. So my question to the Middle Belters, are they not ready to clinch power in 2023? Why endorsing orders? Are they not capable enough? This is my first question to the Middle Belters, because I believe there are people who should, in the first place, start clamoring for the #1 position in the country. They have never get one before, I mean democratically elected, and even vice presidential slot, they've never got that before. So it's high time, instead of backing orders, they should come out and speak with one voice also to clinch that ticket and wins it in 2023. They have the population more than even some regions. Their population is far more than some regions in the country. So they can also do it while supporting others. This is my question to this discussion. Secondly, there are a lot of allegations labeled against the Connaught, which to me is not fair at all. If we are talking of clear politics, politics is a game of number everywhere. If you have the strength, you have the capability, you can contest and win. You don't tell someone to support you by fire, by force. That's not how things are done politically. So we need to always think outside the box. The North, I think, if you even go back to the history of Nigeria, from 1990 to date, Obasanjo spent 8 years, and he is from the South. When Adua came, he spent few years and passed away. Jonathan came, he spent 6 years. He's from the South. And now it is Buhari. So just count the number of years. Are we even fair to ourselves by saying that the North are claiming 2023 presidential slot? We are not being fair to us. And also, this regionalization is just something that keeps dividing us. It doesn't matter when our leaders are sharing the national cake within themselves and their family members, friends and family members, they never talk of region. They never talk of language. They never talk of religion. They share the national cake and consume it within themselves. No one talks of region. But we here, the masses at the underground, keep talking. We are being marginalized. We are being marginalized while we are not even holding our leaders accountable. We need to first of all hold our leaders accountable before you think of being marginalized by one section of the country. Now, if I am to ask you, it is just a rhetorical question. A northerner, an ordinary northerner, is he better off than ordinary southerner in the South? The answer is no. No, any ordinary.
Thank you so much, Comrade Mohammed.
Just a minute.
We are almost out of time, so I just have Comrade Mohammed. Please, we are out of time, so I'm going to have to ask you to bear with us and let us go to another participant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Comrade Mohammed. Let us listen to Andrea Kubu before we let the guests react to what Comrade Mohammed has said and what Andrea.
Sorry, it's me. I'm using Andrea Kubu's. Sorry, it's Mark Jacob. I'm using Andrea Kubu's.
Okay, your hand.
Equipment. Yes, it's me. It's Mark Jacob.
Okay, understand. But your hand was up.
Yes,
so
I wanted to respond to the question.
To what,
yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
First of all, I'm very happy that the comrade is here, because initially I thought it was an exclusive meeting between the Middle Belters and the Southerners. But it's good that he's here, even though he didn't say where he comes from. Now, he has asked a question, why the Middle Belters are not clamoring for 2023 presidency. We are not, because we are just and fair people. We don't clamor for what we know ordinarily should go somewhere. Look, if he's been alive and current in history, he will know that the presidency has been moving from north to south. We are praying for the day that his type will agree that there is the need to create a Middle Belt region out of the geopolitical zones. Since 1948, there has been this struggle to have the Middle Belt region that has been resisted by the core northerners. If we had our own region, we would agitate. But the classification of Nigeria, as far as the presidency is concerned, made it that presidency would just rotate between the North and the South. The North has held it first under Yaradua. He spent 3 years. Why are you not mentioning the years that he spent? He died, unfortunately, a very great man. Buhari is spending 8 years. 6 years. 6 plus 3 is what? It's 9. Calculate that. You can compare that to the 8 years of Obasanjo. You can compare that to the 6 years of Goodluck Jonathan. So when people are talking like this, they should not think we are completely dull, that we cannot put 1 plus 1. The truth remains, the system that has been established in this presidential rotation is between North and South. The North will finish their tenure in 2023. And naturally, if we are fair to each other, there should be no debate as to where the president of Nigeria 2023 should come from. And that is one of the reasons why I am supporting and rooting for a Southern president. Let us be fair to everybody and let's treat people with decency. Look, nobody has the capacity, the monopoly of determining what I do with my rights. So when somebody comes on here and says, why am I not rooting? Why am I not interested in running for presidency? I'm not interested because I love equity and fairness. If the North is ruling now and will terminate its rule in 2023, this thing, in fairness, should go back to the South. The second question he raised, I'm trying to remember now, was the issue of
numbers.
What did he say?
Game of numbers.
Okay, the game of numbers. Thank you. Yes, and I wish he had listened to Elache, our big sister, who said that there is time. Maybe it is time for us to rejig our political electoral system. Look, the constant reference to these numbers, by northern elements is a terrible thing. Because, look, how do you justify, for instance, the fact that Kano has 40-something local governments, 40 local governments? Lagos has 23, or is it 21? And they are assessed to have the same population. How do you justify that Kano alone produces more members in the National Assembly, the House of Reps, than 2 states in the Southeast put together? Or is it even 3 states? How do you justify that in a country where we're talking of justice? Now, you have used all these inflated figures to begin to use them to intimidate the rest of Nigeria. And that's why when people say, let's restructure, people don't want to hear the word restructure, because they know that if we shall truly restructure, there will be justice for everybody. There is no justification for the lumping of 40 local governments in one state with the same number or the same population with what is in Lagos. There's no, you cannot explain it to me legally.
Okay. I'm sorry, I have to interject here again. We are almost out of time, so I'm going to ask the next 2 people to make their submissions as brief as possible. Captain Chinonso Wafo, I've asked you to unmute, so please make your submission as brief as possible.
Thank you very much. Thank you, my fellow participants. I think I'm very happy that we have the comrade here with us, so that it's good that he will hear others. It's good for them to share the pulse of the nation, because whatever we are doing, we should be able to know what others think and then key into that. It's unfortunate that the current government in the country has so divided Nigeria. Not only Nigeria, he has so divided every sector in Nigeria, be it military, police, everywhere. I'm telling the truth. We are so divided. And if anybody thinks it is not true, then let him wait and see. The country is so divided that if anything should trigger anything like any tribal or civil war, this will be the last of this country. But what we are praying is that we come as a united country. We are praying that we restructure this country, that we have our regional government the way we have in 1963. We should go back to what our forefathers arranged. This Nigeria we have now is not what was agreed by our independent fathers. What they agreed on was regional government. This federal government we're having now is accidental. It's the result of the coup that happened in 1966. So we have to go back to the basis where what our fathers agreed upon. If you watch what happened that period, the regions we are doing very well. Even the North was doing very well. We have the minerals, we have the agriculture, people who are competing. But what we have now, you have a room of some elites coming together to loot and reloot and reloot and recycle themselves. Now, coming to the issue of power coming to the South in 2023, you cannot exclude the Shagari era of 5 years in presidency.
I'm going to have to summarize, Captain Rwang, like we are out of time.
You cannot exclude Shagari's tenure of office. You cannot exclude Babangida tenure of office. You cannot exclude Absalom tenure of office. You cannot exclude Buhari as the military president. All these guys were all Northerners. So you can't tell me that the North are only Yar'Adua and Buhari. What are you talking about? When you talk about the president, it has been in the North all along. And if you say the North are impoverished, who impoverished the North? You blame your leaders. You can't, because your leaders have messed up the place, you now take our portion. It's not possible. It's not going to be possible. So let us reason very well. We have a North-South divide. If we want peace, let us have peace. If after Buhari in 2003 and the North still insist on getting power, then they may rule themselves, rule ourselves. That's the simple truth. Nobody can threaten us. Nobody can intimidate anybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Captain Chinonso Nwako. I'm retired. Let us go to the next person before we allow our guests to comment. Paul, why?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Christina, for this privilege that I can participate in this. And greetings to everyone in this platform. I just want to make a couple of contributions regarding SaMBA. I have actually taken time to study what SaMBA is all about. And as a SaMBA spokesperson said there, you see, the day the Middle Belt and the South realized that they have, like the Middle Belt to me is the glue that holds Nigeria together. And the core North, you can blatantly see, I'm not going to go into lamentation of what they have done or what they have not done. You can blatantly see the nepotism being displayed by this government. And you can see the arrogance with which Hakim was talking about yesterday or the day before. So Mark did say something about the South and the Middle Belt having misgivings about each other before. It was based on this. What I found out and studied about SaMBA is it was based on these discussions about the mistrust that the Southern like-minded people in the South and the like-minded people in the Middle Belt realize that the day we can work together, the game is changed forever in Nigeria. And because of that, we don't in SaMBA, I believe, care of whether it is South or North at the moment. That's not our prerogative. We will rather it go to the South because we've been sold a dummy before. The Igbos wanted to know if they can trust the Middle Belt who fought them during the Civil War. We wanted to know if they are capable of, we can trust each other, and we have gone past that. The Southerners now know things about the Middle Belt that they didn't know before. We have worked on that. I have checked and seen before I even agreed to be part of SaMBA. We've checked and seen that there is this understanding now. And because of this understanding, whether the politicians want it or not, whether the core Sharia North want it or not, we have more in common. If they want to be Sharia in the core North, if they want to be arrogant and with impunity, be nepotists and all that kind of thing they want to do there, that is up to them. But we have now realized that our coming together is to determine who rules us. We are not just going to follow anybody like sheep anymore. Even our politicians now, if you are in alignment with our vision, we are with you. It doesn't matter to us where you come from. Even if you are from the south, you have to subscribe to our vision and mission. You see, so if you are from the north, at the moment, we are not even looking at the north because the issues that are caused, the problem that's caused Nigeria is coming. You cannot stand on this very platform that is causing the problem and try to solve that problem. So we have to move away from there and figure out how we are going to save and get back our country. The indigenous people of Nigeria, whatever part you are, if you want to be one Nigeria, we cannot have a Sharia Nigeria and a secular Nigeria at the same time. So we must find a way, a pattern to, if we are going to have religious election, let's have religious election. And you don't have the number in the core north without the middle belt. And the middle belt, we have decided that we are no longer, whether you call me north or not, I'm not north. You've sold me a dummy before and make me go and fight my brothers. I'm not going to go fight my brothers anymore. If you go and look for trouble now, you are on your own. They should be made to know that. Okay, we do not intend to split Nigeria. We don't want Nigeria to split, but we want everybody to know his father's house and to know the narrative that is coming from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul White. Let's go to the next person before we allow our guests to comment. Mazi, is it okay? Mazi, are you there?
Thank you. Yes, I am indeed here. I just wanted to, obviously, I've been listening. I just wanted to, by the comments made that the North has the population or the North has the number. I mean, it's, I don't know. Isn't it funny that it's only when it comes to election that the number, we begin to hear number, North, not. Now, it comes to VAT, everyone is saying, if you have the number, then you should have the number to collect your own VAT and survive. Now, it means, be your brother's keeper, right? Be your brother's keeper when it comes to VAT paying. You see, if you have the number, then utilize the number and the number should pay tax and you survive on it. But here, honestly, listen, the thing is, the game is up. It's time we begin to hit the nail on the head. The number is with us. The number is with us. Wike, thank you for the breeze that has blown and the nyash foul. Be foul nyash, whichever way it comes, but it's now wide open. Thank you very much. That's only my contribution. Is my contribution?
Is our host frozen?
I don't know.
Still have more. Okay, please now respond.
Okay, thank you very much, Mazia. Thank you for. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. All right. The game of numbers, please. Let's get serious. It's a myth. Who determines what the numbers are? Where the numbers are going been, and we are not buying it any longer. We know that when there are numbers, they only come up with election. So let him forget about the numbers. We know how they manufacture them during elections. Why do we support the Southern president? Well, like Microsoft says, we don't want injustice. It's like illiteracy to sell like titles. If you have ruled Nigeria, you have ruled Nigeria, whether you're a president or a head of state. If it is resource control as a head of state, you have it. As a president, you have it. So you don't try to
brainwash us with neuro-linguistic terms that we have not made a president. The North has had more in power than the South. Please, let's get serious. And then when my grandfather was during their days, just before the Civil War, because there's a need for a number to come up, they were told, we are all Northerners. All to comrade, let me just drop one for you. Idan ayabatasan ta pigari laushi, me yasa da tsaya a dunkule. By interpretation, if the banana knows that it's softer than flour, why is it staying as a block? Simple. If you know you have the numbers, why do you need to bring it in the vice president from the South? Let's just call it a spade a spade. And in those days, after our grandfathers have supported, nothing came up. And just in these recent elections, we were told that we are all Northerners, so we should vote. Some of our people voted for the current government. What do we have? A dummy again. So please don't come and try to brainwash us. Those days are over. We are serious and we know what we're looking for. The youths are on their feet and we are not going to stop. Just the last thing that is called State Middle Belt, they on their own, when they took copies that were killed to the government house, the House of Assembly, and they gave the House of Assembly an ultimatum. The House of Assembly also gave the governor an ultimatum. All of a sudden, before the next day, the witnesses have covered the House of Assembly. Don't worry. These games are over. South and the Middle Belt are one, and will be just and fair. Power go to the South. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. Let us hear from Mr. Jacob.
Yes, thank you very much. Look, I just remembered what the comrade said that I wanted to comment on when he said that we should start talking of competence, that nobody becomes president and begins to talk of tribe or religion, that we should begin to hold our leaders accountable. Buhari, the president of Nigeria, has shown that if you are president, you can afford to take care of only one religion and nothing will happen. He has shown that if you are president, you can afford to appoint everybody to head every military or institution from your village and nothing will happen. How many shouted when all the service chiefs were from the north and one religion? How many people, even outside the country, complained that all the ministers of repute were from one side? How many people complained and held the government accountable or asked for accountability as to how the president of Nigeria is the minister of petroleum till date? And there was no response. The Northerners see nothing wrong in these things. And it is when it is the turn of the South that people like Baba Ahmed and my comrade will begin to say, let's talk of competence, not where the person comes from. For God's sake, are we idiots? Why is it that during your own time, nobody talks of competence? All that is known and implemented is that you must be this religion or this tribe. Otherwise, you won't get a job in Central Bank, you won't get a job in NNPC, your children will not get admission to read the courses they want. Special things will be reserved for some people. It has been happening since 2015. And nobody should hoodwink us into keep thinking that we are any one Nigeria. There is no one Nigeria. There's only half Nigeria. It belongs to them, and they are not apologetic about it. I'd like us to talk reality. Let nobody hoodwink us. It's not our fault that we got educated. And we can interpret things and speak about them. We don't need any fight to say this. We don't even need to get angry to say that. They are realities. Everybody knows that all the service chiefs of the past 1 year were all from the same religion. And they ignored all the cries and the hymns. Today, it is only from the Middle Belt
that 2 governors are in prison, 2 former governors are in prison, as if they are the only ones that stop. Every other person, either from Gombe, from Jigawa, from Kano, even the ones we saw collecting dollars on television, nothing has happened to them, and nothing will happen to them because they belong. And you want us to say that all is well? For God's sake. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, thanks so much, Mr. Jacob. Just before we round up, let me speak to Mr. Prince Rwang as spokesperson for SaMBA. Does your organization have any plans to sensitize people on the importance of voting? Because right now we see that political apathy is eating deep into our system, especially in the southern part of the country. Is the organization making any plans towards that?
Very, very well. Our people are smart, and it's not 1 + 1 that gets them to move. It is your will and identifying with them that gives hope. Our small publications, we're glad, have almost gone viral. Youths are calling. People are getting interested in politics because they believe SaMBA is speaking their heartbeat. That is indirect sensitization. They are having political apathy, voter apathy, because nobody seems to be saying, okay, why don't you look at it the other way? If somebody like Baba Ahmed will say power will remain in the north for another 3 years, who knows how many more years they have in mind? But somebody has to wake up and say, it's not possible. We are not with you. SaMBA has done that. That is a key. And it's very, very fundamental to having the youths and the general populace have hope and the possibility of having credible elections, quote and unquote. Yes, we have also plans to continue what we're doing, to encourage people to use legitimate legal means to speak to government and policymakers. And as much as possible, if it's happening, by keeping quiet, we have supported whatever is there by being nominal. So yes, SaMBA as an organization on its own is an inspiration, and people are rising across that. We have down-to-earth plans of going, making banners, posters, social media handles, and other people to reach the youth and encourage them that Nigeria, there's hope. Let us come out, let us participate in the politics, and bring up our votes too. Tomorrow we'll come and tell other people we have the numbers.
Thank you so much. Just before we let you go, let us hear from Mark Jacobs. Mark Jacobs, any last words before we round off the program?
Yes, I'll just say that there is hope for Nigeria, and this hope is in our hands. It cannot be put off, and it cannot be dissuaded by naysayers. And the Baba Ahmeds are actually trying to react to the signs of doom, because 2023 is possible. It's possible to put them where they belong, but it will take a lot of synergy. It will take a lot of groundwork. I'm happy that SaMBA has a strategy team that is working behind the scene on so many issues. Some of us are in the forefront. Politically, I'm a member of the PDP and I'm a member of NEC of the PDP. But we are strongly committed to making a Southern presidency. Let the Southerners come of this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's as much as we can take on today's exclusive interview powered by News Band Television. We have been discussing why power to Southern Nigeria in 2023. Special thanks to our guest, the Prince Rwang Jr., spokesperson, Southern and Middle Belt Alliance. Thank you for coming. And also special thanks to Mark Jacobs, legal consultant of the same organization, Southern and Middle Belt Alliance. Also, thanks to the people that participated in today's conversation. Remember to wait behind for a few minutes for a heart-to-heart informal conversation that we are going to have off the record. I am Augusta Neka. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. If we just spend a few minutes to discuss without being recorded, without being streamed live. We all had a full week.